Good afternoon, everyone. This is Dale Richlak here at WLXU 93.9 Lexington Community Radio, and you are listening to Monday Mentions, a show dedicated to social media and entertainment. We talk about everything from Twitter memes to YouTube's trending page and everything in between. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another special episode of Monday Mentions. I know I had my first interview a few weeks ago with Derek Levasseur from Big Brother, but today I'm actually bringing in another guest interview, or should I say guests, for my show. And they're both here with me right now, so I'm not going to waste any time. Allow me to introduce to everybody the two human beings who created me, my mother and father, my mom, Susan, and my dad, Dale. Hi, guys.
Good morning.
Hi.
So exciting.
So we're pre-recording today. This episode's going to come out in a few days. And my parents are actually here at the University of Kentucky for the weekend. We're going to Keeneland later this afternoon, which my mom is very excited about.
I have my hat ready.
Yes, my mom is the bougiest human being I know, and she is just so excited to get to go to Keeneland and express her true identity at the races today. And we're also going to go to the Mizzou game tomorrow, which will have already happened when everybody's hearing this. But my mom and dad have never been to a Kentucky football game, or a Kentucky basketball game for that matter. So how are we feeling about it?
Go Cats.
Go Cats.
Catterday.
Catterday. Yeah, they've never really experienced a Catterday either, so we'll go do that and catch up with some of my friends and introduce them around, and they're definitely going to be the hit of the town, I should say. So I have my parents here today, and my parents were actually born at the tail end of Generation X, which if you've been sort of keeping up with some of the episodes I've done in the past, I like to make a lot of commentary about Gen X versus Gen Z and how everybody sort of takes on the internet and social media. So I wanted to sort of have this discussion with you guys today, and we're just going to talk about it. I'm going to ask you some social media questions, and both of my parents are business owners, which we'll talk about in a little bit, but I wanted to sort of see how you guys feel about using social media as a business tool as well.
Okay.
So
where are our buzzers so we can buzz in with our answers?
I do have a quiz. There is a pop quiz that we're going to do. So
Then we really do
I wasn't
need a buzzer.
notified of that.
Notified of a pop quiz. You'll be fine, I promise. So let's just start. I want to, let's take a step back. Before we get into the social media stuff, I want to sort of establish a little bit of background on our family, because I've alluded to you guys in prior episodes, but I think that my audience really needs to know what goes on. So let's do a little sort of introduction here to us.
Okay.
As a family. So my mom and dad, how did you guys meet?
Well, we were set up, but we didn't know we were being set up.
True.
So a friend of mine at college was...
Which college?
At the University of Dayton.
Go Flyers.
Yes, Flyer Nation. A friend of mine was pre-engaged, and for the younger crowd, you might not even know what that term means, but back in the day when you knew you wanted to marry somebody but you weren't ready to get engaged, you could get pre-engaged.
Isn't that just like courting? Kind of like the same
it would be
thing?
a step up.
We didn't do that pre-engagement thing.
No, we just dated forever.
You did date forever. My parents dated for what, 7 years before
7
you
years.
got engaged?
Yes.
The ultimate love story.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So my friend was pre-engaged to Dad's friend, and she and I were at the University of Dayton together. We worked at a mall back home in the summer after freshman year, and she told me that Dad had come into the mall with her pre-engaged fiance, or whatever you want to call it, and had seen me and wanted me to come to a party he was having at his house. So I went with her, and then Dad and I really were dating ever since then. June 23rd, 1988, I believe, something like that.
So you guys didn't get married. Full disclosure, my parents just had their 25th wedding anniversary this year. So they've been married for 25 years, together for what, over 30? Plus
Together
the 7.
for 30. I renewed the contract this year.
Oh, good. I'm so glad.
Boy.
But you guys didn't get, so if you guys met in June, then you didn't get married, because you know how some people, when they get married, like they want to pick the wedding date that they sort of like met or whatever, but you guys got married in August.
Yes, because I was taking the bar exam
And
in
I made to get through
July.
school.
Yeah. School's important, right?
Mhm.
Yes.
Yeah. So so you took the bar exam. So for everybody who doesn't know my parents intimately, my mom is a probate court attorney, and my father is a certified public accountant, and they both own their own businesses, which is really incredible and very inspiring as somebody who has sort of, over the last couple of years being in college, developed a desire to also own their own business, which may be news to the both of you now that I'm sitting here saying it. But we all sort of knew that maybe someday that was going to come because I definitely have the boss mentality.
Yes, you have that down.
Yes, for sure. So it's so cute. You guys have been together forever. I always tell people that you guys are like my couple goals because you guys have been dating for forever and you guys are still so in love after 25 years of marriage.
That we are.
There's a weird, you guys can't see it, but there's some weird tension happening right now. Okay, well, you guys, so my mom went to the University of Dayton when she met my dad. My dad went to Cleveland State University. And they've been living in Cleveland for, my dad grew up in Chagrin Falls, and my mom sort of grew up in Chagrin, but also sort of grew up in Euclid. Wycliffe. It's all the same to me.
Okay.
It's right on the border.
Okay.
But then they had me 4 years after they got married, and then they had my brother 3 years after I was born.
Yes.
And now I'm here. My brother's at Ohio State. And
Go Buckeyes.
Go Bucks. Yes, go Bucks. And now we're at this point.
Yeah.
How did we get here that I'm this old that I'm having you guys on a radio show?
I don't know.
Life is moving along.
Yeah, it is.
But I think
Spread your wings and fly.
That's right.
Yeah.
I think you ended up exactly where you should have been. You know, we didn't know at the time that Kentucky would be such a good fit for you, but I think it has been.
Yeah, I would hope so. After we've spent 4 years of tuition going here, I'd hope it's the place for me at this point, right?
I think so. I think so. You're here doing this lovely show.
7 months left.
7 months left. My dad has been counting down the months to my graduation for a long time at this point. It just progressively gets more aggressive towards the time that I get to leave the nest and he's not financially responsible for me anymore.
Yeah, we're going to get a raise
Yeah.
in May.
Yeah. Well,
No, after January, after we make the last payment.
Oh, true.
True.
Okay.
So, what year, because I'm blanking, did you graduate from college doing your undergrad?
In 91.
91. So, what sort of technology did you have when you were my age?
Bag phone.
What is that?
Well, your mom used to carry around a bag that had a cellular telephone. You plugged it into the lighter, and
In your car.
that's how she tracked me down. We had that and beepers.
And beepers.
So
I don't think did I have a pager ever?
pager.
Did I though?
No, I had one, and then
Oh.
now every time you beat me, if I didn't return
Well, of course.
She had to
you
keep
were
tabs
after
on
me.
you.
Yeah,
But-
well, now you just keep tabs on looking at your phone and track you down.
Exactly.
But at the University of Dayton at that time, we had a phone. We did have a hardwire wall-mounted phone in our dorm room.
Rotary dial.
I don't think it was rotary dial. We might
Push
have had
button?
the buttons by then. But
Did you
You
have
had
like you didn't have like a personal, did they have like big computers like at like the library or something at that point? I sound so ignorant and I'm so
Well,
sorry.
computers were just starting to come out then. I mean,
remember the video writer?
yeah,
So it was probably 2
it was
feet
the size of
by-
a printer,
Yes, it would be the
like an
size of a printer.
HP
Really?
4050 printer.
And it had a little screen on the front
Mm-hmm.
and a keyboard.
So
But
it's
it was
almost
like a whole big, like,
Yeah, there was no copy and paste.
yeah,
and
but it was like what, like a technological typewriter
it
almost?
was like
Yes.
a typewriter.
Okay.
But,
yes. But you could print, I think I could print right in it.
right.
Yes.
And the thing
So I
probably
would-
So like
weighed,
you
Feed
would
it with
type like a
paper.
paper with that?
Yes, but it would be, like Dad said, no,
and
there's
it
no
weighed like 40
copy-
pounds.
Oh my gosh.
No copy and pasting. You literally typed it and
But it was just more so like a technological
was
typewriter.
so-
Like you couldn't go on the internet or anything like that on there.
correct.
Okay.
But it was just so I didn't have to go to the physical library if I wanted to type
So you would have
something.
had that what, like in your dorm room?
Yes, and then we would typically we would carry it and plug it in the hallway because it was so obnoxiously loud and whatnot.
You'd sit
So
in the
if some-
hallway and
I
type
don't even
paper.
think we had the internet when you graduated. Because wasn't it like AOL and you had to do the dial-up call?
Yeah, I
and-
don't. No, I don't think we
I don't
had
think we got that.
emails or anything.
No, we
No.
never used that.
Well, I'm asking you because, I mean, now it's 2019. I'm about to finish my college career. And I got my first piece of technology was what? That Nintendo DS that I begged for Christmas from Santa for years and years. Because I
you-
wanted Nintendogs because I wanted to prove my responsibility.
Did you ever have Game Boy before that?
Maybe I did. I had the little black square Game Boy, but I
think
don't think
so.
I really ever used that because I think it was Ethan's, and I just sort of took it over at one point. I don't know if it was actually ever mine, but like I've really sort of, I mean, obviously I've grown up with tech. I mean, I had a phone at 12. I was in the 6th grade when I got my first phone, but even that, like, it wasn't like I remember when you guys
graduated.
had like the flip razor phones, and we would text on that. Like, I have this
Right.
really weird, vivid memory of us leaving Outback Steakhouse, and I'm sitting in the back seat typing a text to Dad from your red flip up Motorola Razor.
Oh, yeah.
Because you had to press all the buttons
triple
3 times. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I've grown up with all of this, and I mean, I have now. Dad has a MacBook, and I've had a MacBook since I've been in college. But I had a laptop all 4 years of high school because I bought one right before I went into high school. I'd saved all of my babysitting money and bought that 17-inch HP.
Right. I don't even know. Did we have laptops in high school?
In high school? No.
Yeah, no.
Why would you have had a laptop in high school?
I don't know. I'm just trying to remember.
I was asking you about
I mean,
college, and you said you
Microsoft-
barely
Oh,
had
that's
the
true,
internet in
that's true.
college.
I mean,
Yeah, that's
Microsoft Office, I don't think came out till early 90s.
Okay.
Yeah. So seeing me have all of that technology, and I mean, even now, I mean, I'm sitting here, we have Dad's MacBook in front of me. I'm holding my iPhone XR. Dad's got an iPhone. Mom's got an iPhone. Do you think that you would have preferred to have this level of technology when you guys were my age? Or did you sort of like that you kind of came into it as an adult?
I would say the latter. I mean, we joke all the time that I'm not sure that Dad and I would be married if we had had some of the cell phone technology, just because Dad was working and going to school back home while I was away. And I just think, you know, in your world today where everything, every moment of every day is out there on social media, I think it.
You don't think it would have helped your... My parents did long distance for quite a few years.
Well, it was a different time. Things
Yeah.
were different.
Yeah, I
And
don't-
things progressed to where they are now.
Yeah.
And then you kind of adjust and try and conquer this social media.
Yeah. So you don't think that you would have wanted access to like Google to like write papers in college?
That
We
would have
did-
helped.
Yeah.
But I don't like with the social media and all that being able to be tracked down where you are and what you're doing, and your privacy is pretty much lost compared to
Yeah.
where we were before all this.
Yeah. I'd say that's pretty fair.
And we didn't feel as connected to these devices as you guys did. So we were free to go out and do things without worrying. Is somebody trying to reach me? Am I not being responsive? You know, that just wasn't even an issue then.
Yeah.
I think you enjoyed living more when you weren't so
Being
connected
attached to your phone.
those devices.
Yeah, that's
yes.
fair. All right, well, let's take a quick break, and then we'll come back and we'll keep talking. So, this is Sarah Richlak with Monday Mentions on WLXU 93.9 LPFM, Lexington Community Radio. We'll be right back. Alrighty, welcome back, everyone. If you're just joining us, hello. This is Sarah Richlak with Monday Mentions. I'm here joined by my lovely parents, Susan and Dale, and we're talking about all things social media related. So, you guys have said technology when you were in college, to my extent, was probably not something you would have preferred.
Correct, I'd say.
Well, I want to do a quiz, and Dad actually was just talking about how he thinks that social media is taking away his privacy. So I want to quiz you
Okay.
on social media platforms.
Oh, goodness.
Just that. That's how we feel.
Bring it on.
Bring it on. See, Dad's excited.
I just don't think I'll know much,
Well,
but I'll try.
well,
You probably
that's-
know more than I do.
Half of this is just giving you guys a learning experience. So that's what you're here for, right?
We're always down for that.
Love that. Okay, so I'm going to call the quiz Guess the Platform.
Okay.
Rightfully so. I'm going to give you a description of what the site is, or the app, or whatever. And each of you individually are going to give an answer as to what you think the platform is, and then I'll tell you. Okay? Really easy.
Are we going in the same order every time?
Do I have
Are
a
we
buzzer?
buzzing in?
You guys, I do wish I sort of had a buzzer.
Well, we can tap
Oh,
the table.
you know
or
what?
no?
You should have brought your button that makes the sound from home. We have our family's very big into indoor family fun, and
We'd have to be careful which button.
yeah, we have
Buzzer you brought.
we have an explicit button, and we also have a non-explicit button. But that's just how the Richlak family runs back home. But we'll just sort of go. I'll go with Dad first, and then Mom, you can give your answer.
Okay.
Okay. So I got some of these definitions from Ferris State University. They did an article about all of this, but some of the other ones I sort of pulled from Google or just my own knowledge, so they'll sound semi-professional. Okay. All right, so here's the first one. So the first one, it's the largest and growing social media site in the world. It makes it easy for you to keep in contact and share information with your friends, relatives, and coworkers. What do you think it is, Dad?
That would be Facebook.
Facebook? Mom?
I would agree with that.
Facebook?
Yes.
Well, you're both right. That's Facebook, which is, I would say, what you guys are probably the most familiar with in terms of any platform that you guys use.
Probably.
Probably. Yeah.
I just started with some of that with business.
Yeah. Well, and we'll get to that too. We'll talk about it. All right, let's go to the next one. So the next one, it's a microblogging site that allows you to send quick, instant updates to your followers. What do you think it is?
Twitter.
Mom?
I'm thrown by the first part of what you said.
Microblogging?
Yes.
So basically it means you only have a certain number of characters.
Okay, then I would say Twitter as well.
You're both right. Dad had it right on the money. There's no hesitation in that. I'd say so far Dad might be winning, even though you've both gotten the same answers.
I don't think it's fair that I have to go first.
Okay.
I think she has to answer the next
All right,
two
we'll
first.
do Mom. Mom has to do the next two first. Okay, so this is a social media site for professional networking.
LinkedIn, or now I'm noticing in.
What?
Now a lot of the symbols just say
Oh, it just says in. It's just their logo, Mom.
Am I enlightening you now?
Dad, you were very excited.
Wow, you're bringing it to a new level now.
Oh, Lord.
Just saying.
God help us.
You were excited. You were ready. You were buzzing. LinkedIn. Very good. Very good. All right. This one might be... The next couple ones I think might be a little trickier. Those were kind of like the easy ones.
Okay.
Okay, so this one is the leading force when it comes to online video. You can deliver compelling visual material to targeted audience, and really good visual content can go viral and has the potential of reaching millions of internet users across the entire social media sphere. I'm getting blank stares and a lot of silence.
No, I have a couple.
Couple thoughts?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Mom?
Might have to clarify.
Yeah, there's two that I'm debating.
What two are
but-
you debating?
Well, I mean YouTube, but I don't think you really share that as much as people subscribe to it. So I'm going to say no, and I'm going to go with Snapchat.
Okay. Dad?
Well, I was going to say Google because I think Google owns YouTube, if I'm correct.
I believe so.
And I would believe YouTube would be the conduit for that information.
So is
Snapchat, I don't think. I'm going to go with Google.
you're going with Google. Okay. And you're going with Snapchat. Well, you're both wrong.
Yeah, I was going to say Snapchat really isn't
Snapchat, you
videos.
can't necessarily...
Yeah.
Oh, Snapchat is videos.
Oh, you
but
can.
you can't necessarily... I don't think I've ever really heard of anybody going viral on Snapchat. You both said it. It's YouTube.
Okay.
Well, that's why I
what
said
is that?
Google because they own YouTube.
Yeah. And which I'm honestly a little bit disappointed that you guys both didn't get that, considering that that's how I basically run my entire life is through YouTube.
Well, I said
Well,
Google.
we did say it.
I said
Well,
Google owns YouTube, so if I said Google,
But Google's
That's
not
under the housing of
Google.
the
Google's a
structure.
search engine.
Yeah,
Google's not a
Google's-
social networking site. I'm sorry.
Or
I'll give you
platform.
partial credit. I'll give you partial credit because you were both close, but
Okay.
or you weren't really
Well,
close,
I
Mom.
said it, but then I...
You changed your mind.
Yeah.
Well, let's go to the next one. I've got three more. Okay, so this one's made for sharing photos and videos with captions.
Instagram.
Instagram.
Very good. Very good.
The gram.
The gram, as they call
I'm
it.
not on Instagram.
You're not on Instagram?
No.
No. Mom's barely on Instagram.
I'm getting there.
She's working on it. This next one. Pictures and messages are usually only available for a short time before they become inaccessible to the recipient.
Snapchat.
Snapchat.
He's just
He piggybacked.
saying my answer.
That's the one, Dad,
I'd
that's
like
got
that
all the...
stricken from the record, please.
That's the one that's got all the good filters on it. Mm-hmm. My family's very big into taking selfies, and we like all the filters.
No, wait, let's correct that. Our family is not.
Our extended family,
Okay.
getting at Molly in here,
Right.
get the Gebblers
That's
in
fine.
here.
That's fine.
Okay, and then the last one, which I don't think either of you are going to get, but it's a fair try. And if you've been listening to prior episodes of my show, maybe you will get it. So this is a real test as to see how much you pay attention to the stuff that I do. Okay?
Oh, boy.
Okay.
So this is a video app for creating and sharing short lip sync comedy and talent videos.
Vine or TikTok?
Okay.
I believe it's Vine.
Okay, so by technicality, Vine is a correct answer, but Vine also has been closed.
the old one,
That's the
right,
old one.
right.
So the new one, which Mom, you did get, is TikTok. So I'm very proud that you actually
Where's the
got
button where you can have applause? Or
I know,
something?
we need like a sound effects bar.
Yes.
Okay, actually, you guys did honestly better than I was expecting. So that's a good
We're hip.
indicator.
We
yeah.
surf the web.
We text LOL.
LOL.
That's for anybody that's uncultured. My family's also obsessed with Modern Family, the show, and that right there, what my mom and I just did, is a straight direct quote from like the first season of that show. That
It's a Phil Dunphyism.
it's a
It's
philosophy.
Philosophy.
That's
yes,
what it
thank
is.
God help me.
So I think we've kind of already said it, but from all of the ones that we just did on our quiz, which one do you think that you use the most? I know what your answer is going to be, Dad.
What's my answer going to be?
Facebook. Although, do you use LinkedIn a lot
No, I just started on that platform.
on Facebook
No, on LinkedIn.
and LinkedIn?
I would say it's probably Facebook.
Yeah.
Of what I personally use and post on, I would say Facebook, but I actually use Instagram more, but not in the way you guys do. I'm using it.
She sends
for
me recipes on Instagram and stuff.
recipes and
Following
what's
the
other
Pioneer
word?
Woman. Like clothes.
Not clothes, like lifestyle or
Motivational
home decor
quote, yeah.
type things.
Yeah. Yeah. You like your little home decor tchotchkes.
I didn't know you were doing that. I learn
That's-
something new every day.
That's
after
where she's getting all of
25
her
years.
inspo from
Right.
for the
How do
deck.
you think
Oh,
all
boy.
these meals get on the table?
Oh, good Lord.
I know where all the tchotchkes come from.
They come from Instagram. Well, so that's what you guys use. What do you think that I use the most, would you say?
Apparently YouTube. You just said
Mm-hmm.
it.
Well, from what you've seen from me at home, too. I would say YouTube for sure, just because that's my form of entertainment.
Well, and I think Snapchat.
Yeah. I would say. I probably use Snapchat the most. Just because I think that that's probably what you guys see me using the most. I don't post on Instagram that much. I do like posting on Facebook, but that's more so as like if life updates sort of happen,
Right.
I'll post on Facebook. But yeah, I would say you're right with Snapchat for sure. Do you think that, like, would you consider me as sort of addicted to social media, per se?
Yes.
Yes. And this is also coming from somebody who is planning a future career in the next few months to work in social media.
I would say yes. I think for the most part, your whole generation.
Mm-hmm. The millennials and Gen Z and all of
I
them.
think so.
Yeah.
Although you also have expressed the couple of times when you've done a temporary hiatus or whatever you called it, where you didn't go on social media for what's the longest you've not gone
Week. I did that last year. I didn't go on social media for a week, and I deleted all the apps off my phone and just sort of unplugged. And it was nice. I mean, I'm lucky in that I sort of didn't, which I was just telling you about this the other day because I'm, again, very fascinated with all the generational cohorts and all that. So there was a guy who sort of defined, and it was a TikTok, believe it or not. This guy sort of defined all the generational cohorts and how there's, people that are on the cusp, and I'm technically on the cusp of the millennial Gen Z because I was born in 98. But this guy was saying that the cuspers are sort of in a good spot because they have the mentality of the generation that came before them, but they have the technology of the generation that comes after them. And I kind of feel like I have that technology, but I also am grateful that I still, when I was growing up, like we went outside and we played in the creek,
Right.
you know, or we were playing with the neighbors and I didn't have a phone attached to me all day.
Right.
Up until I got older. And then honestly, more so, I feel like a lot of it too, like when I got my first phone, I was sort of on the tail end of people getting cell phones. Like I remember I would always come home.
Because we were cruel, evil
No.
parents who would not allow you to have a phone in 5th grade.
But it was for good reason. I think a lot of the phone too sort of came at like it was more so of a convenience factor for you guys
Right,
to get a hold of
safety
me.
and-
Yeah. Because sometimes I would be, at that point I was going, you know, to my little 6th grade dances and hanging out with my friends, or I was at the neighbor's house and you needed to get a hold of me. So we got the phone, but we didn't get me a phone or like an iPod as like a shut up tool. Like, you know how sometimes
Right.
you see parents like buy their 3-year-olds iPads so they sit at a restaurant and they don't
Right.
scream the whole time.
Right.
Like you guys didn't do that with me, which I'm very grateful for because I still got to have, you know, what I would consider like a traditional type of childhood where we were playing outside until it was time to come in for dinner, and we drank water from the hose when it was hot outside, and we did all the slip and slides and all that stuff in the yard and
Yes.
played basketball and made what is it, those back when they would plow the driveway of snow and we would cut out like little
Snow
like
forts?
igloos, snow
Igloos.
forts. Yeah,
Yes.
you hated those because you always thought that they were going to cave in on us and we were going to get eaten by the snow.
Ed and I don't particularly care for the cold, so.
That too. But I sort of think that, you know, being here and as somebody that's pursuing a career in social media, I see it as a tool. I obviously, with the way that my generation is, I obviously use it as a personal, what's the word, like a fun thing to do to like kill my time. But it's becoming quite a great business tool as well. People are using it to do marketing and all that stuff, which I've been doing for the last 2 years almost with the job that I just recently left, where I was doing social media marketing and all that stuff.
But even that, I think, is it's good and bad. It's a different, and maybe it's just a different type of marketing. It's marketing that's driven by the consumer. Mm-hmm. Whereas in years past, when you were the person in charge of marketing, you came up with your own campaign and you decided, I mean, I'm sure they researched to see what are
You
people
don't think that
interested
people do
in.
that now?
I think they do, but I think they have to be hyper sensitive to what the consumer is putting out about that company. You know, and they always say that the negative stuff transfers and blows up much easier and larger than the good stuff. So one bad review at a restaurant where somebody posts something on social media could be, you know, a disaster for a business.
That's true. Well, let's talk about some more business, but before we do that, let's take another break. We'll get a breather.
Okay.
So again, this is Dale Richlak. I'm here with my parents on Monday Mentions, and you're listening to WLXU 93.9 LPFM, Lexington Community Radio. Welcome back, everyone. If you're just joining us, hello, my name is Dale Richlak. I'm joined with my lovely parents here on this fine episode of Monday Mentions. Let's get back into talking about social media and business, because that's where, if anybody is listening today that has not listened to any of my prior episodes, I'm a senior at the University of Kentucky. I'm studying integrated strategic communication with a focus in public relations. I do social media a lot in terms of both my major and in terms of, you know, a career come May, which is terrifying. But I'm sitting in front of two lovely business owners. So how long, let's start here. Each of you individually, how long have you been working and running your business individually?
You want me to go first?
Sure.
So I've been a CPA accountant for the last 25 years, and basically been running the business for the last 5 or 6 years with my father,
My grandfather.
your grandfather. And what else did you want to know?
Just how long you've sort of been doing it. I think that you've sort of been taking over the reins longer than 5 years ago.
I would say so too.
So you've been
Okay.
doing it for way longer than that.
For a while.
Yeah. How long have you been in the new building?
We've been in there for 10 years now, a little over 10 since we moved.
See, I feel like it would almost have been around that time that you sort of would have been running the show, per se. I'm giving you more credit than you're giving yourself credit for. How about you, Mom?
In terms of my own business, you were about 6 months old.
Mm-hmm. My mom used to take me in a baby carrier. My mom used to teach a class. She used to take me with her when she would teach and let me sit in my baby carrier. And didn't you let your kids hold me or something?
I don't
your
remember
students?
bringing you for class.
I have a
Maybe
weird
once
memory
if
of that.
there
There's a
was
photo.
Babysitting issue, but we would go if I was picking up mail or papers or whatnot. But
Toting me around
yes,
like a purse.
yes. No, but I left the last firm I worked with when you were about 6 months old. So
And went off on
21
your own.
and went on my own.
She spread her wings. She spread her wings and flew
It
down.
was a jump.
It was a jump. A leap of faith.
I still don't know. Dad and I have talked about this because I'm not really sure why we felt so confident that we could go off and do that, but it was a good decision.
Yeah. So my mom had an office at one town. For those who are unfamiliar with the anatomy of Cleveland, Ohio, people will say that they're from Cleveland and they're really sort of from a suburb that's about 45 minutes from downtown. It's the same thing with everybody that's from Chicago. Everybody's from a suburb of Chicago just says they're from Chicago. It's the same thing. So my mom was working in Mentor
Yes.
because you were within somebody else's business.
Right, I
You
was
had your
renting
office. You were
space.
renting a space. And my dad was in Mayfield at his old office. And then you said, 10 years ago?
About
You did
that, when we moved.
They moved offices into another place in Menor where both my parents actually are in the same office building. My dad has his whole business there, and my mom has her little office, and then she has Mrs. Thomas in the back doing some of the
Shout
helping.
out to the best assistant
Yes,
ever.
shout out to Mrs. Thomas. We love her. And it's so weird, too, because even sometimes I'll ask you guys, if you've seen each other for the day, and they have glass walls in their office, and my mom will tell me sometimes that she has not seen my father for the entire day, which is just unbelievable to me when you guys literally work 15 feet from each other.
Well, we're
Doing our
working.
thing.
Yeah, you're busy bees.
We're busy working.
You're busy bees. But now, we'll get to you in a second, because yours is a little bit different for the social media stuff that you're doing.
Okay.
I want to talk about you. I'm pointing at my father. Sometimes I forget that people can't see my hand gestures.
You do a very nice job, though, of guiding the listener.
Oh, well, thank you. So I want to talk about Dad for a hot second and what Dad's doing in terms of using social media as a business tool.
In terms of promoting my business?
Yes, in terms of promoting your business. My dad has just recently, we've been talking about doing this for the whole time I was home for the summer, and it never happened, which is pretty typical because I was also supposed to do a lot of things over the summer that didn't happen. But my dad just recently launched a business Facebook page for the first time.
We did.
And has been working on promoting his business through that. You've also been doing some search engine optimization and reworking of your website and doing what's that thing called that you kept talking about? I can never remember the name.
The
ClickFunnels?
The ClickFunnel, yeah.
Yes.
My dad's a big fan of the ClickFunnel.
What's that?
You're a big fan of the ClickFunnel.
I think it was very easy to use and set up, and I didn't really have to go out and hire a consultant to set it up and spend all the time and money in that, and kind of aligned it the way I wanted it. There was a couple of technology snafus I had to work out, and it was more or less my time. But I like going through it because I actually learned some things that I didn't know and kind of broadened my horizons. But with all the social media back in, I think, 2012 is when we launched our website and kind of got out on the web, on the social side. And we did some things on Google and whatnot, but I didn't really have a lot of people come back or get new business really that way back in 2012. We
Well-
basically posted our website out there and, gave more information about our firm and what we do and how we do it. And
It's like a catch-all.
right, and basically I think most of our clients liked it because they could go on there and then they could refer friends and family, or to get comfortable with us, because obviously in our business you're opening up your personal information, which is guarded. And then, I've had that, and our business has been pretty good and with referrals and whatnot.
So I've been telling you for a while, as somebody who, which maybe more so at this current stage of my life at graduating college, I'd more so be going to mom at this point, just because you work mostly small business, taxes, and that sort of deal. So I probably wouldn't be coming to you for a while in terms of at my age. But I think that with you sort of gearing your stuff to social media, that's how you're going to bring in your next wave of clients. Because once you get people that are my age, because I say this all the time, we don't want to make a phone call. We, for whatever reason, the millennials and the Gen Zs are terrified of the phone. Like, we don't want to call anybody. We don't want to send an email. We want to be able to go onto your Facebook page and see what you're about and send you a message and go from there.
Well, I think when we go back to that Facebook and moving on in my social media experience, and in this last year setting up that Facebook page and doing this QuickBook funnels, I was kind of amazed after I put the ad out what the reach was. How many people actually clicked on the ads, how many different looks it got, because I think I got 80 page clicks in a week and a half.
Isn't it fascinating?
And then I think it was showed up 26,000 times, which back 10, 15 years ago, you'd never get that kind of reach unless you spent a ton of money on advertising, mailing, and whatnot.
And you guys have done in the past a lot of advertising. My family's Catholic, and we've grown up Catholic, so you guys do a lot of advertising through church bulletins too, which has been more so great for mom too, because I think you get a lot of your referrals from there.
That was my primary source.
You were doing it at one point.
I did a little bit, but I didn't have much success with that.
Yeah. But I mean, to look at all of those analytics and see how far that gets, I mean, you really wouldn't have thought that you could get that far.
Correct. But like I said, with my business, it's more guarded information. It's more a referral business. So I think the more you keep putting out on social media and people get comfortable with you, and I think you just have to get more touches. What do they say? You need 5 touches with each person before they get comfortable with you to make an interaction.
Yeah, for sure. But at least it's a starting point. And now you have a starting point, which you didn't have before.
Correct.
Yeah. All right, let's go to mom. So, like I said, my mom is a probate attorney, and she has been working for the last X amount of years, forever it seems.
We'll leave that number blank.
Well, I'm more so talking about on purpose. You've been thinking about doing all of that for forever. My mom...
15 years.
Yeah.
This is the 15th anniversary of me
saying
doing
you're
nothing.
going to write a book. Saying she's been writing a book for years. She's been trying to do all this stuff, but she's finally doing it.
2020.
She's finally doing it. So her little on purpose stuff, it's on purpose 86,400?
Yes.
Is that right?
Yes.
And what does the name mean?
There are 86,400 seconds every day. So you should live them intentionally.
Yeah. So my mom is working very diligently, I should say, on hopefully, fingers crossed, having her first on purpose seminar next year.
Yes.
Which is very exciting.
Yes.
And she's looking at doing a podcast and some other social media promotion for that. So how do you think that is going to... I personally think that the best thing for you to do in terms of marketing all of that is to do it through social media. Because I think you're going to get the best response that way.
Right. Well, and it's not unlike my law business where I need to locally be close to the people to be able to service their needs. This could be anybody. I mean, my goal is to, when we have seminars and things, to ask people to share and like us and broadcast it out, because there's no limitation on who needs inspiration for living.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And I mean, she's the plans that you told me already that you want to do for your seminar, the workshop stuff, and she's going to have my life coach, Miss Dana Kelly, who we love and adore, come and help out. And I mean, all of it sounds really great. We've been talking about trying to figure out how to do her podcast for forever. So we'll get there eventually.
Yes, we were supposed to do that
over summer.
and
well, that's
over this past weekend.
That's our Christmas break activity.
After
Or
you-
maybe even Thanksgiving, because I'll
After
be home
you
for a while.
finish my video that
Yes,
was
after-
supposed
And
to get done.
are you going to do a live seminar?
Yes, we're doing a workshop.
Where's that going to
So
be?
clearly my dad is not in the loop, is what we just learned.
I'm always the last one to know.
But you're always the first one in the car, and that's what really matters.
That is true. That is true. I don't know. It might be at Joe's restaurant. I'm working on it.
Oh, but it's going to be in town.
Yes.
They're saying in town as in in Cleveland, by the way.
Until we get a couple years under our belt and do some destination seminars. That's really what
I'll be
my
there
goal
for
is. Then
that.
you can come. Yeah. Well,
Okay.
Sarah can come in and run the social media.
I love it. The promotion.
Live. Yes.
We'll live stream it on Facebook.
Yes.
I love it.
yes.
Okay, well, let's take another quick break, and we'll come right back. So this is Sarah Richlak with my parents on Monday Mentions, and you're listening to WLXU 93.9 LPFM, Lexington Community Radio. We'll be right back. All right, welcome back, everyone. This is Sarah Richlak with Monday Mentions. I'm here with my mother and father. I sort of want to switch gears. We've been talking about social media, and I've been talking about the fact that I'm, looking to do a career in social media. So
You were meant to, from the time you were born, and we would be at the grocery store, you would just be talking whenever you first started talking.
I taught my
whomever.
brother. Fair warning. I did teach my brother how to talk.
Yeah,
That's if that
to-
tells you anything about me.
You would strike up conversations with everybody at the store, everybody anywhere. You were always
So do you
very
think
social.
that then the major that I picked is definitely what I should be doing?
Yes, for
Yes.
sure.
Yeah.
For sure. You had a unique voice when you were growing up.
It's called raspy.
Yeah, and it's gone away a bit, but it was very unique, and people were always drawn to that.
Well,
and
it's also been her confidence. She's never been, nervous or shaken or...
yes,
Well, now they're really gushing about me. Before, while we were taking our
no.
break, I said I was going to give them an opportunity to
Although,
speak about me, but now they're really
The
going
only thing
for
you're
it.
going to have to do is work on your filter.
My filter?
Your filter.
That's definitely not the first time I've heard that from him. I think that conversation comes up like once every few months. We're getting better, though. This is definitely making it get better, because I definitely have to watch what I say when I'm on the air. So that is true.
yes.
But at least, because I know for a while, back when I was, in high school, and I was still sort of trying to figure out what I wanted to do, because I don't think I really had an idea. I mean, I knew the things that I liked doing, but I didn't have a set, like, this is what I would like to major in college until probably I was a senior. I had ideas when I was a junior, and I was sort of like, I should maybe go into communications. And you were panicked when I told you that. I remember we were sitting in your car and we were driving, and I said, I think I might major in communications. And you freaked out, because back when you went to college, it was a very like taboo thing. Like if you didn't know what you wanted to do, you would go and be a communications
that
major
was the
Marketing.
fallback
or marketing.
position.
Yes.
Yes.
But I think, especially with the program that I've been doing at UK, I definitely think that I can't see myself, for one, doing anything other than what I'm doing career-wise. And I don't think I could have been at any other school.
Well,
Truly.
I think you got all the tools that you need to move on from the University of Kentucky with all the classes you've taken, and obviously with doing this radio show. Now you've blossomed and you've learned a lot of different business things that you can take with you after you graduate and apply those to whatever job comes your way, which I'm sure
We're hoping that a job comes my way.
you have to be positive.
Well, this is the brilliance of social media and all these tools right now. Is we were talking about this a couple weekends ago when we were job searching. There was no internet to say, show me all the law firms in Cleveland that are hiring. You had to go to hard books at the library or phone book directories. That's how we would base our
And
list.
find addresses
Right,
to
you would-
mail your resume.
And figure out who is the managing partner. You might have to call the law firm because they didn't have a website that listed the staff and told you who to contact and who human resources director was. So but you guys have literally the world at your fingertips in terms of the information.
It's basically scan your resume and click and send.
Yeah, pretty much.
I would see for you starting out working at a company that's a little bit larger where you would have the opportunity to be transferred to different cities or venues, because I think you don't want to be limited.
Yeah, we've always sort of said, in full transparency, when I was looking at colleges, I wanted to go to California. That was my big thing. And Mom and Dad said, you get a 6-hour radius. And I found UK, and I said, how about 5.5? And we settled.
Right.
So we've
Push
always...
the boundaries.
Yes, we're always pushing the boundaries.
No, not we. You.
Me. True. But, I mean, I can see what you're saying, because we've sort of been talking about that too, where
Right.
a job where I would have the opportunity to not only be relocated, but also maybe to even travel.
Right. And I would say for you, a blend of the social media stuff with your outgoing nature and the training, and even something like this with the radio station, something where you could be the front person or be the person that's leading the whole corporate social media direction of a particular company, where you can do the training and the meeting with people, because I don't see you just sitting at a desk somewhere working on projects.
I don't see that either, for sure.
And then eventually you'd have some experience to perhaps run your own company doing social media consulting after you get some experience.
Yeah. So,
Hmm?
You have input?
I have a question
You have a question?
before we end this session today, which has been very informative.
Okay.
So, since you're the, social media
Guru,
queen,
Oh.
however you want to call it, where do you think in the next 5 years we'll be with all this, and even 10 years? Do you think this will keep developing into something bigger? Do you think we'll
think
just
so.
stay where we're at and tweak it a little bit?
I think a little bit of both. I think, which this takes me back to 2 summers ago when I was working at the city hall, and I had a guy come up to me who asked me what I was studying and told me that I would never make money in my career because social media is not important and it's not a viable career. And I've been telling people for years. I mean, you see it now. Like, nobody really picks up a newspaper anymore. We canceled our newspaper how many years ago?
right?
That we don't
Well,
have. We
the
don't get a
problem with the
newspaper.
newspapers, I like the newspaper, but the problem now is I go get the newspaper. There's like 4 pages. It used to be like 15 pages, and the problem is they can't compete with the social media.
Exactly.
'cause they're
Traditional
not-
media has
they're
been
not-
dying
they're
for a
not-
long time.
They're not able to sell their newspapers.
Exactly. So that's exactly my point. We get the occasional maybe magazine at our house if it's like a clothing catalog for you, Mom. We don't really get the newspaper anymore. I mean, I can't tell you really the last time I consistently watched cable TV. I currently don't have cable at my apartment here. I've never really used like the news on like television as a way to get my news. I get all my news from typically Twitter. And I don't think that, everybody's canceling all of their cable subscriptions now.
I'm not ready to go that way.
No, I don't think that you will. You're too obsessed with watching Gold Rush, and if you can't watch your Gold Rush, then what are you going to do?
I know.
So, yeah, I think that they'll probably tweak a lot of the stuff that they have, but I mean, even like we were talking about TikTok, I mean, that's only come up within the last couple of years. I mean, granted, that was based on something like Vine that had already existed a few years ago, but there's still social media platforms that haven't been created yet that I'm sure are going to be just as big as something like TikTok or even like Snapchat. Snapchat's been huge, and that started, I think, 2011, 2012 maybe. So, yeah, I think that traditional media is sort of taking a hit because it's a lot easier to do social networking than it is to get an outlet and a connection into traditional media. But I think that at some point they'll sort of have a marriage so that everybody sort of gets the best of both worlds. But if we're not going to evolve, I'm still convinced that we're going to have flying cars and all that stuff within the next, 20 years. We already have the automated Teslas.
Be like the Jetsons.
Yeah, exactly. We already got the self-driving Teslas. We're not that far away.
I mean, when we were growing up, I remember when the VCR actually came out, and the neighbor down the street was the first one to get the VCR.
So you were all over there.
And that was the first time you ever were able to see something on a TV where it actually had playback of a movie or something.
That's crazy.
It was a Sony Beta VCR.
That's so interesting.
And then, I mean, this technology has changed so much. I mean, just the other day, I have Spectrum TV at home. You can put the app on your phone. Yesterday, I was able to go on Spectrum the app and watch CNBC live on my phone.
You need to give me the login info to that, by the way.
No.
That's what Aunt Stephanie always tells the story of. Now, her girls are a little bit younger than you.
Yeah.
So
They're still in high school.
when they first started with all the fast forward features on all shows or whatnot, and then one time her kids were watching live TV on, a regular station, and her one daughter was like, "No, pass the commercial. And Aunt Steph's like, "No, you can't. You have to sit
skip
there
the
and watch
commercial.
it."
Yeah. Well, even we get pissed about it when we're trying to watch. What
Right,
were we
if we-
watching the other day when I was home?
Right. We thought we were, was it a Modern Family?
We were watching the newest episode of Bull.
Oh, that's
Because
right.
we were
That's right.
just watching the prior episode and we could skip the commercials and then we
That's
couldn't.
right.
And we were like
Right.
pressing the remote at the TV, like, skip the commercials.
Right.
But that's a lot. And that actually plays into it, which is a whole other conversation. That plays into the whole, everybody's very fascinated and is demanding instant gratification now.
Yes.
Which is what you get from DVR playback or watching something on Netflix where you don't have to watch commercials and stuff like that. And one day shipping on Amazon.
The downside to that is
We're all greedy.
Everybody's
Impatient.
Yes.
and their constant disappointment and frustration and tension when those things in life that aren't available in that manner, and
Yeah.
nobody wants that.
No. All right, I have one last question for the both of you, and I want you each to have your own individual answer. So we only have a
Okay.
little bit of time left.
Okay.
In the next 5 years from now, what do you hope that I'm accomplishing with my life in the next 5 years? There's a lot of silence and a lot of looking at who's going to start.
Who's going first?
I'll let Dad go first.
I'm going first.
Do you want to go first?
Sure, I'll go first. Well, obviously, in May, I hope to be in Rep Arena, watching you walk down the aisle and get your...
Walk down the aisle.
well,
I'm not getting married.
up to the stage.
Yes, up the stage.
Get your diploma, and get your GPA to what you wanted.
Magna cum laude.
Magna cum laude. Mm-hmm. So, get that step done.
Yeah.
Then hopefully you'll find some kind of position where you can start that has a future and get you to grow. You can learn some things that you can apply in future positions and kind of feel your way out to see what avenue you want to go down.
Mm-hmm.
And then hopefully you'll meet some boy down the road that I like.
That you like.
And I just hoping for your happiness, whatever way it goes down the road. As a parent, the most important thing is that you're happy to me.
Oh, that's cute. Thank you. I love that. Mom, can you follow that? Can you top that?
Well, I'm going to just let Dad's answer speak for both of us on that front, because I couldn't have said anything any better or differently. That's how I feel too. And if I can use my time, Alex, to just say how proud we are of you, and I mean the fact that we're sitting in a radio station on a show at this age and time of your life is pretty amazing, and you've always exceeded our expectations for you. And I think especially the last, bit of time here where you're working on your happiness and your confidence, not that you ever really needed much more of that, but to do what you want to do, and that makes us happy.
Good. I'm glad that I always tell you guys, and I tell everybody else, that all of the work that I do, while it is for myself, I'm doing absolutely everything so that you guys are happy and proud, because that's all I've ever wanted, is for you guys to be proud of the stuff that I do and the choices that I make. And we might not always agree on everything, but at the end of the day, you guys always have my best interest and I always have yours. And I'm very blessed in that I have two parents who have been married for 25 years who are still just as in love with each other and are a great role model for me and my future, and who are incredibly supportive and wonderful. And I don't know if I could have had any other set of parents than you guys sitting here in front of me. I don't think my life would have been the same.
It was all meant to be.
It was all meant to be. By the grace of God, it was all meant to be, right?
Yes, yes.
All right. Well, unfortunately for everyone else, we need to go get to Keeneland.
Yes.
We're trying to go see the
So
horses.
exciting.
No, lunch.
Lunch. We'll get lunch first, and then we'll go to Keeneland, and we'll get some drinks, and we'll go see the horses. We're very
There we go.
excited. But I want to say thank you to you guys for coming and sitting with me and talking to me.
Very cool.
And I'm very grateful that you are here for the weekend and we can spend some more quality time together coming off of my fall break from last week. So with that, everyone, this has been another episode of Monday Mentions here on 93.9. Again, I'm your host, Sarah Richlak. And as always, please remember to be thankful and count your blessings. I know I'm counting 2 of mine right here with me, so I'm very grateful. Again, I want to say a big thank you to you guys for coming to visit me. But it's off to the races for us.
Yes, and go Cats.
And go
tomorrow.
Cats. So until next week on Monday Mentions, thanks for listening. Have a great week. And as always, go Wildcats. And we'll see you next time. Thanks so much.